What's going on? Welcome to another video. In this video, myself, Brian, and our special guest, Mr. Ephraim from Tactical Logistics, are going to be deep diving into giving you some inside information on logistics. We're going to be diving into some new Amazon fees and talking about why having a logistical partner could be an absolutely massive advantage in 2024 and beyond. And we're going to get into the nitty gritty and talk about what we're doing inside of our business and how tactical logistics is going to help us save literally thousands of dollars over the coming years. So Ephraim, thank you so much for popping on. How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Brian. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, likewise.
Incredible. So as we dive into it, let's first start with a little bit of an update on one of our brands that we're working with inside of the EBB Launchpad, where things are current state and why logistics is so important to us right now in this moment. So Brian, if you want to maybe pop in and give a little bit of an update on where our brand is, what our brand is, first off, if this is someone's first video, where our brand's at, and then we will take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So the past, give or take 6 to 8 months, we've been working on a project where we've really just been diving in, showcasing step exactly what we're doing to build and launch a brand publicly. Now that brand is called Voyaj, and it was really the idea of entrepreneurs coming together and trying to serve the entrepreneurial market as well. And now it's evolved into a lot more than that current state, but that was where the brand Voyaj kind of came in. And realistically, we're launching products that help people like myself, Ephraim and Mike, people that are always traveling. I know Ephraim was just recently in a bunch of different conferences, and our goal is to try and take that specific customer persona and develop products that allows them to be more efficient. So we are so close to being able to launch our first product. And that product is actually, again, if you think about something that is on the go, that most likely is at a conference for a couple of days, they're typically with a carry-on. Okay. We developed a product and we've worked with another sponsor of ours, Ritz Momentum, to develop a product that fits directly within an actual suitcase carry-on. And what it does is it compresses. Think of packing cubes. I like to say packing cubes on steroids in a way, because it's one big cube. It uncompresses and it can hang directly on shelves. It can actually hang directly on your carry-on as well. Product is extremely useful. If this is your first time listening to a video amongst the EBB Launchpad, go and dive into our updates. We're about 11 updates deep current state, where we're revealing all the strategies and we're giving you updates in regards to what that product looks like. And we even developed a case study on that entire product development phase. So you'll see a ton of value when it comes to that. But in regards to where we're at in state, to be honest, we would have hoped to have been launched by now, transparently, but we went through a lot of challenges when it comes to production. We unfortunately didn't meet the Chinese New Year production timeline. And for that exact reason, we just had our inspection done and we're about to be shipping our product out this week. So give or take 4 to 5 weeks, depending on how long logistics is going to take, we're actually going to be able to product live to you guys. So that's where we're at. We're super excited. And again, that's a perfect opportunity for us to bring Ephraim and chat a bit more about logistics, what Tactical Logistics Solutions specifically is doing and how they're going to be helping us.
Yeah. And so as we lean into that a little bit more, we are going into a point where our product's going to be shipping in. We're going to be launching in the next number of weeks. And one of the big considerations that we have to have as a brand is all of the different logistical, not only timelines, but fees that are associated with it as well. And so that's why we wanted to have Tactical on board, to be able to help our brand now and in the future be able to navigate some of those intricacies and be able to actually help with solutions that can help us really mitigate those fees, and also make sure that we're doing things like having our inventory ready on demand. So I know one of the things that we really wanted to talk about here today is some of the new fees that Amazon has actually either introduced or is introducing very soon, and Tactical, how they're going to be able to help us navigate some of those solutions as well. So if Ephraim, you wanted to give us a bit of an insight on what some of those fees are, how they affect us as Amazon sellers, and what Tactical is able to do to really help with that.
Sure. So the newest fee is basically once the product comes into the US, you need to get into Amazon FBA. So with that said, it used to be Amazon gave you one option, for some people 3 options to be able to ship it, and you were able to choose to go to California. Let's say if you're importing it to California, you're able to choose whoever you wanted it close by, you got a fulfillment center in that area. Amazon, as of March 1st, changed the new placement fees where they optimize their shipping. That means instead of their being busy getting product around all over the United States, they want the seller to actually do that for them. So they split it up now into 5 locations. And with these 5 locations, it could be coming into, let's say the shipment comes into LA, you might have some product needing to go to Jersey, Florida, North Carolina, Texas, Arizona. Automatically, your cost of shipping it into Amazon increased drastically. Like even one of my clients said, like they went from spending $10 on a master carton into Amazon. It cost them now between $25 to $30. So that's like a crazy increase. So a lot of sellers are really freaking out, like what's the future for them selling on Amazon? Some people are trying to convince other people, like, let's get off Amazon, let's look at other marketplaces. But the factor is that after all, Amazon still owns majority market share of online business. So if you want to start selling product, the first place where you're going to go to is Amazon. And then there's other marketplaces that have 2%, 5%, 7% of Amazon, but you can't even compare it to Amazon. So what people are doing right now is there used to be a loophole where you're able to manipulate Amazon system to get it to go to one location. I'm not talking about black hat tactics there. I never recommend that. I'm not talking about that. It's something with Amazon's API, they're able to get it to go to one location. So a lot of people think that that doesn't work anymore. So the answer is it works 70% of the time still. So basically, when you connect your Amazon account with one of these companies, it's their seller chain, Nemo Ship, Shipyard, 9yard. They're all basically 2D barcode, 2dworkflow.com. So all these websites help you with that. So basically, you connect with them, you connect your Amazon account with their account via API, and you start with one SKU, and you tell them like the ship from address, for example, is a California address. So they see it in the shipping plan stages, not once your shipment is complete in Amazon, because then you're going to be paying penalties for abandoning a shipment or deleting a shipment. We're not talking about that. We're talking about when you're still planning your stages. They could see which Amazon locations they would recommend you, and they pull one, and then they could allocate everything to go to that one. That you do with one SKU, and then you could add additional SKUs as you go. So that for now is still working. Again, we're talking about Amazon. Amazon could switch something off from 1 second to the next, but even after the placement fees, they still have that option where it works probably 70-80% of the time. And that will save you a ton of money on the logistics side to get it into Amazon. Because if you're spending, I don't know how many units you have in a master carton, but for some products, I checked yesterday. I was in the warehouse yesterday in California, and one customer has 2 inner packs in a carton. So every carton has 2 units, right? So if you're increasing your cost by $20 to $30, meaning it's like $15 to $20 additional to what you used to pay, divide it into 2 units, you're talking about $7, $8, $10 in additional cost. So the question is, what's your profit margin? If your profit margin was $10, it's almost wiped out. So it's really a challenging time for a lot of sellers, and that's why they're trying to figure that out, how they're going to move forward. But for now, this piece of technology is still working. I've done it on multiple calls with my clients. I just tell them, like, show me how it works. I want to see how it works, and it still works. So that's the number one thing for a new product that comes in. We can go into other details, but that's probably from all the new charges, this is what affects you the most. The number 2 thing that got a little better is the actual regular Amazon storage fees actually came down a little bit. I think that's going to be as of April 1st. We're talking about $2-3 equivalent to a pallet. Like, not talking about major money. It's still, Amazon storage is still very expensive, but that's the only good part that came down. And also there's other fulfillment fees that they lowered their rates. The FBA fulfillment fees, they lowered rates for some categories and some stuff. So that's also a good thing. But the biggest piece is the logistics piece, where if that's crazy expensive, that could wipe out your profit. So that's where you got to be careful about.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that. You say that. We're literally dealing with it right now. We're going in and we're creating a shipping plan, getting things ready for our freight forwarder to come grab all of our stuff. And yeah, one of our members who was dealing with that and reached out to Mike, because Mike has dealt with scenarios exactly like that. And he'd recommend exactly what you said, softwares that essentially allow us to properly and not black hat or gray hat or anything along those lines, but try and coordinate a single location. I think our shipment was going to like 5 locations. Was that correct, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Amazon will give you multiple options. We can do 5, you can do 3 and pay a small fee, or 1 and pay an absolutely absorbent fee. I think we're quoted about $3,500 if we did want to send it to one single location on 1,000 units. And so same thing, we're implementing one of those softwares that we actually use in our warehouse because we run a wholesale operation, and has worked wonders for us thus far. And we're going to be able to largely or partly avoid that inbound placement fee, which is going to be a massive help to our margins. Absolutely. And then the other one that I wanted to talk about is, let's say, okay, you're going to be sending, especially in the private label world, a large amount of units into the US, whether you're talking about first time replenishments, etc. Even though the fees have went down a little bit for storage. I know that, for example, April 1st, massive fee increases for things like removals and disposals, but also long-term storage fees. Once you get over those 180 days, those storage fees are up. So could you talk a little bit about your experience with your clients in like inventory management and potentially using other solutions other than Amazon's warehouses for larger storage, inventory management, making sure that you have, on-time deliveries to Amazon, that sort of thing?
Right. So there's 2 ways how to talk about it. One way is for somewhat experienced sellers, and one is for beginners. Beginners, where I see most beginners make that mistake is, let's say Amazon allows you to, on a new SKU, I think they allow you 800 units or 1,000 units to send into FBA, right? If you have no plan how you're going to sell that in the first 60 to 90 days, you're throwing away money. Why? Is because equivalent to, let's take a pallet, right? Amazon's approved pallets are 48 by 40 inches by 72 inches high. That's how much they allow for you to send in their fulfillment centers. Take that pallet, divide it in, Amazon charges by cubic feet, divide that into a scenario. That scenario, it comes out to be 80 cubic feet is one pallet that's 48 by 40 by 72 inch size, 80 cubic feet. 80 cubic feet comes out to be somewhere in the $60 range, 62, 63, I think. With Amazon storage versus a 3PL like us and others, we charge anywhere between, I don't know, 18, 20, 22. You can find, like, that's the range where you're paying storage. Now, you got to keep in mind where you're bringing in product. You're going to bring it to the 3PL, you're paying for trucking there. Then you're going to pay for the 3PL to receive it, store it, and then deliver it to Amazon. Those are all new costs, right? When you go directly into Amazon, you don't have as many costs. So the breaking even point is 2 months. If you know you're going to sell this in 2 months, and usually a brand new seller does not know that, but they don't want to increase any of their costs because they're very lean. They just started a new business. But at the same time, if you send in your 1,000 units, and let's say they're a bulkier product, that means cubic feet racks up pretty quickly. After 2 months, if your margins were, let's say, $5 on a piece, it might have been wiped out already by sitting there for 3 months plus. So that's what I tell people is, like, 2 months is your basically max that you would send into Amazon. And how the experienced sellers are for a product that sells well all year round. I'm not talking about seasonal. Seasonal is a different story. It's 2 months in production, 2 months on the water, 2 months in a 3PL, 2 months in Amazon. So if, let's say, you wake up one morning, right, and your competition ran out of stock, and that means you're getting a big increase in market share because your competition is out of stock, I have 2 months worth of inventory in my 3PL. I still have 2 months in Amazon. So I have now, let's say, a week, because let's say you doubled or tripled your sales right now because that person ran out of stock. I have now approximately a week to replenish into Amazon and stay in stock. And at the same time, you wiped out your 3PL, but you still have 2 months on the water where that's going to hit your 3PL fairly quickly. So automatically, you don't have that issue of running out of stock. And at the same time, you're lean with your costs. So you're not paying too much for your 3PL in and out of storage because you're only keeping there 2 months on average. You're not paying too much on Amazon because your sell-through is 2 months. And Underwater, you're just paying for your shipping. That's the regular cost. And the 2 months in production by your supplier, you're not paying anything for that. It's only once it ships. That's when you pay your supplier. So all of that, that's the experience way how to go about it. If you have all your, like something that goes all year round, sells all year round, you know approximately how much you're going to sell 10 months out of the year. And obviously peak season, you know how much, like 3x, 4x, 2x, however you want to sell it. When it comes to seasonal product, it's a different story. We could talk about it today. We could talk about it later on. I think when it gets later on the year, give some warning pointers for some sellers where it could be game over if you overstock Amazon too early in peak season when storage is, I don't know, 10, 12 times higher than all year round, and that could kill you completely. So that we could leave on a different, I have a bunch of scenarios and stories on that as well.
Yeah, we could leave that. We could leave that for another time. We do have some seasonality to our product. It typically does better from this time period till the end of summer, given that it is a travel-related product. So it could be valuable to, okay, what are we doing to plan for that? And we can make a powerful video at that time frame. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'd love to quickly dive in before we wrap up, and let's talk a little bit about tactical. Where do you guys have locations? What are your different services that are available? And really, how can people take advantage?
So my personal background is I was an Amazon seller for 7 years, from 2011 till 2017. So I'm a little bit of the OGs of the Amazon space before there was a PPC, before FBA was something brand new in 2011. Like it opened before that, but like people didn't use it as much. So I started back then. So, but I went through the whole transformation, obviously. Even from 2017 that I stopped till now, it's completely a whole new business as well. But by speaking to sellers, I know I still stay up to date on what's happening in the Amazon space. So what we do is basically, for an Amazon seller, most Amazon sellers are usually a lean staff, so they don't have a lot of staff, especially if they don't have their own logistics in place. Sometimes it's a one-person company, sometimes a 2 or 3, or like maybe a VA or 2 to help you out. So you don't have a lot of staff in. And to go deal now with multiple different logistics companies for importing, for 3PL, for trucking, for clearance, all these things, it might be sometimes a headache for you. So we came up with a solution that we're going to be a one-stop shop where we're a licensed freight forwarder. We import product. We are customs broker, so we clear customs on your behalf. We do trucking, so we're a trucking broker as well. So we pick up from the port, we bring it to our warehouse, and then we do trucking into Amazon. So basically, we do a full scope of logistics services for an Amazon seller. And most recently, we added 2 new services. So that's inspection, not through our company. So we just use a third party, but we offer as a service. And then we started doing drop ship towards the end of last year. We started doing drop ship for customers. So basically, we're like a full globe where we handle A to Z for a seller. The benefit of using one company, I would say, is probably on lead times, where you don't have to wait on other people to let people know that it's going to arrive. It may be arrived, check on it. Like you don't have to follow up with multiple different. It just flows under one flow. Probably saves you on cost as well. That I wouldn't be able to guarantee you that, because I don't know what other people pay for their exactly what they pay for it. And we're just really set up to help Amazon sellers. Like for me, a new employee comes in, a new manager comes into our company. We have close to 200 employees. They come into our company. It's the first crash course. It is, we go to Amazon.com and we show them a listing. We show them reviews. We show them ranking. We show them how many reviews they had the last 30 days on their seller account, like to give them an idea, like what selling on Amazon is. And now we tell them what happens if you run out of stock. Your ranking tanks. You have to spend on advertising, like all that. Like, so they get the urgency. It's part of our core values is urgency. So we're and communication. So it's part of like the things that we're really strong on, and we're very family based. So my dad started the company. I run sales, marketing, some part of operations. My brother just joined the company. He runs the freight forwarding department. So and probably in our warehouses, we have grandmothers, sisters, not from my family, but just like their families. Like if somebody comes to work, they'll bring their cousin, their uncle, their aunt. So we're a very family style run company, and not corporate. So that's how we run our operations. But it's really strong on timelines and on communication. That's these two things that's uh, something that we speak about on every single weekly call that we have with our managers is, are we sticking to our 48-hour turnaround time? Are we sticking to our 2 to 3 hour response time on email? So that's basically our we have like triggers in place. If something breaches that, if an order went over 48 hours, the main managers get notified. Same thing with communication. How you can reach out to me, you can reach out on our website. It comes directly to me. The contact us page comes to me, goes through my sales funnel. If I don't reach out, it's going to be one of my sales reps that would reach out. LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn if somebody wants to find me there. Facebook, Messenger. And yeah, that's about it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And we will provide a link down in the description below as well to give you the best way to get a hold of Ephraim, more specifically his team, and be able to take advantage of one or potentially all or more of the services that they offer. So from me and from Brian, thank you so much for hopping on today. I appreciate it. We're going to have some more up-to-date videos as we roll out through this project and we roll out with our partnership together, giving you updates on what Tactical's helping us with and helping you to solve your logistic issues as well. So if you stuck all the way to the end, we appreciate you doing so. And if you want more of this and aren't already, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Also, make sure you smash that like button. Helps us get this out to the most amount of people possible. That's it for us. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and we will see you on the next one.